Hello, welcome back to Spoiling Movies. My name is Chris, and I'm going to tell you about a movie I just watched. Just kind of wanted to show off my skeleton shirt thingy. I just watched a movie, and I'm going to talk about it fairly in depth. I'm not going to go into super specifics because I'm not a professional reviewer. I will just tell you kind of what happens in the movie and give my opinion at the end. So this time I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil. The Milla Jovavich. I don't know exactly how to say her name, but that's the way I think I'm supposed to say it. This movie was suggested by Shondo of Baddest Dudes. There will be a link in the description for both channels. I am going to give spoilers for the movie, but I do have to warn you also that I did not play a lot of the Resident Evil games. I only played bits and pieces of some of them. So if I get certain things wrong about the lore, or if certain things in the movie didn't happen the way they did in the game, you can let me know in the comments. While I know it was related to the game, and certain things kind of match up, I know it's also very different than the stories in the game. I'm just not sure exactly how, the little tidbits. So don't tear me apart for that. I'm just going to do my best trying to explain the movie and how it may or may not tie into the games. There's opening narration about the Umbrella Corporation and how they are in everything. They're in, technology and entertainment. They're making, hospital equipment. They're making, televisions and computers and all kinds of advances and stuff. And they're like a big deal. Everybody in the world, is using their technology. But they're also into weapons and biotechnology and some shady stuff also. We see a scientist guy in a big hazmat suit, and he's like behind a shield thing using the robot hands to pick up vials of green liquid and vials of blue liquid and put them in a case, lock the case, and he's like carrying it out of the place, and he throws one of the vials at a desk, and it breaks, hits the floor. It shows that the fumes from the whatever chemical stuff that was, it's getting into the vents in the system in whatever facility this is, and it's going into all the rooms, and the system notices it and locks everything down. Nobody's allowed to leave. The computer system starts removing oxygen from some of the rooms. Then our main character, Alice, wakes up. Milla Jovavich character. She wakes up in a shower, and she has a scar, and she's not sure how she got there. Memory loss. Doesn't know where she is. Starts walking around this house, big fancy mansion place, and it opens some of the drawers, dresser drawers, and there's like guns in a secured case in the drawer. The same computer system screen that we saw was watching the people in the facility is also watching her walk around this mansion. We hear some creepy house noises as she's walking around, and then, jump scares. They do a lot of cheap-ass jump scares that I don't like. But then some guy actually does jump scare and, grabs her. And it's like, what do I do? And then a SWAT team looking thing just busts into the house. They got guns, and they're like, report, soldier, report. And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, she just got memory loss. So we got to get her out of here. So they take her and the guy that jumped her, and they get him out of there. The weird SWAT people take Alice and other dude down into basement facility area where there's a weird train, and they get on the train, and it takes them down into a place that they call the Hive, which was that facility that we saw at the beginning. Some other guy kind of falls out of a room in the train, and there's weird flashback sort of memories from her where it may or may not be her husband. She looks at her little wedding ring thing, and on the inside it says property of Umbrella Corp. We find out that Alice and the guy were pretending to be husband and wife because they were operatives protecting the secret entrance to the Hive facility, which is this underground base where Umbrella's doing all their nasty shit. But the computer system noticed things were going wrong, so it gave them a chemical thing to wipe their memories or whatever. The computer system is called the Red Queen for some reason, and the Red Queen system had killed everybody, supposedly, and they're going down there to try and figure out why. And immediately I noticed Alice, the Red Queen, there's going to be some Wonderland metaphors in here. I'm not sure if Alice was an actual character in any of the Resident Evil lore, so maybe, you guys can tell me in the comments if that was an actual character either playable or non-playable, or in comics or anything. So Alice, husband guy, other guy, SWAT team, in the facility. They open up some doors, see this weird looking hallway with like windows on the sides, and it turns out it's Crazy Murder Laser Hallway. Pew pew pew, Crazy Murder Laser Hallway. That should be the name of us, like a Death Clock song or something. Crazy Murder Laser Hallway. So when they're trying to get through the hallway, these blue lasers start going and like jump over it, but then it comes back the other direction. And at first it like takes off some of the fingers off one of those guys, and then it takes off a lady's head, and then it slices a dude in half, skadoosh, and then the last guy remaining's like, nah, fuck that, dude, I'm not having this. He's like jumping on the ceiling, the laser's like like going up to match him, try to find him, and he's like, fuck you, you're not gonna get me. The laser goes, and then just splits into a grid, and then just fucking turns him into cubes. Man cubes. The facility was just trimming their cubes. When's the last time we've trimmed our cubes? They managed to hack the hallway system and turn the laser down, and they can get out of the door on the other side of the hallway, where they're in a room where the Red Queen hologram shows up, and it's like a little girl, and she's like, don't do what you're doing, you need to get out of here, you're all gonna die if you don't shut me down. And they're like, screw you, bitch, and we're gonna put in this system, it's gonna be like an EMP, gonna shut you down, you're all going to die down here. And they shut her down, but shutting her down unlocked all of the doors in the facility. One of the characters is that lady from Fast and Furious. I apologize not remembering her name. I'll put it on screen over here. But I'm going to call her Fast and Furious for the rest of this. Michelle something? Michelle Rodriguez? Something like that? Fast and Furious lady sees one of the scientists walking toward her, and she's like, hey, we can help you. Come on, talk to us, whatever. And the thing's like, yeah. And starts wrestling with her and and it bites her. And then another weird scientist person shows up with a broken leg, just walking on the broken ankle, dragging an axe with them. And then there's just a ton of these zombies. I don't know what people call them in the Resident Evil universe. I'm just gonna say zombie people. All the scientists that had been affected with the virus thing that was in the system, they just all attack, and they're just a lot of bullets, a lot of fighting, a lot of them trying to bite, a lot of bullets, a lot of fighting, a lot of motherfucking biting, and rock music is playing. And since the security had opened a lot of the stuff, one of the boxes, little weird experimental boxes that contained a slimy creature thing, opens its doors, and one of those liquors gets out. And I do know about the liquors from the game. Hope they have their liquor license renewed. Talk about hard liquor. You suck! I feel mean saying this, but Fast and Furious girl has resting bitch eyes almost the whole movie. She's just, her eyes are kind of just halfway, and she's always just kind of yeah, well, aren't you a son of a bitch? And we see a dog that's about to attack Alice, but it's no ordinary dog. It is Blood Demon Dog. Blood Demon Dog attacks Alice. She gets into a room. Somehow Blood Demon Dog is able to jump through the window, which I think is weird, because I would have thought a lot of the windows should have been bulletproof, but maybe not all of them. More dogs show up in the place, and they come after him, and one of them jumps up toward her, and she just fucking air kicks that bitch in the face. I am not pro animal abuse or kicking dogs in the face, but the Blood Demon Dog was asking for it. So other guy that wasn't her husband explains that his sister had infiltrated the facility and was working with an outside source to expose the Umbrella Corporation and all the nasty shit they were doing. We find out if they don't get everyone out of there in time, that the doors are going to shut. They're going to be trapped in that facility forever. Having the Red Queen computer system down was a bad idea because that's what released everything. They managed to wake the Red Queen back up, and little girl hologram explains to them about everything that's going on. Like, by shutting me down, you released that. By doing this, I was trying to contain everything, and I can't let you guys leave. But they're like, if you don't let us leave, we're just going to shut you down again and just do our own thing. Then there's a sewer system zombie fight, just a ton of zombie scientist people. Alice is snapping necks, everybody's trying to survive. They're like climbing up on pipes. Fast and Furious girl is obviously starting to be affected, and she's changing because she's been bit. And they're like, no, you gotta stay with us because they're fucking dumb. We can't leave her behind even though she's obviously about to turn into a zombie and try to kill us. There's a lot of really dumb lines in this, and one of them is from Fast and Furious girl when they're trying to like carry her off. She's like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna get laid. Boo. The writers of this weren't respecting people's intelligence at all. And then there's another memory of some white rabbits getting experiments done on them with that virus. And so we got White Rabbit, Red Queen, Alice. Where have I heard those things before? It's Wonderland. But I'm not sure why the Wonderland reference works with the Resident Evil story. I don't really get that. Again, feel free to explain it in the comments, because I may be unaware. I may be ignorant of that being a thing. So, fake husband guy was, we find out he was the one that took the virus and the cure in the beginning and started all this stuff. He explains that there's an antivirus somewhere. I think it was on the train. Red Queen voice system thing locks them in the facility, and she says, I've been a bad, bad girl. And then the liquor mauls the bad husband guy. Red Queen hologram system girl knew that, releasing that monster to eat the bad guy, that'd be cool. So they did that. I guess because it ate that guy, or tasted his blood or something, it makes the liquor, like, mutate into a bigger, badder creature. But the Red Queen system didn't want to let them out unless they killed Fast and Furious girl. And so she's about to kill her because they know she's going to mutate. But Alice decides not to kill her and shoots the camera instead. They manage to get back to the train thing that they started in. And the liquor has found them and starts just tearing through the side of the train. And there's a big thing in this movie where some of the effects are practical and they look really good, and some of the effects are CG and they look really bad and dated. And I say this all the time, but if you can, always do practical effects. It might be more costly or more of a pain in the ass, but it always looks better. And the CG will always change over time, and the CG does not hold up in this movie. There's some weird bottom hatch to the train, so as they're fighting the giant liquor thing, they manage to open this weird hatch, and so the liquor goes down on like the rails as they're going, and it just kind of burns on the rails as they're going. They get back into the mansion, doors close behind them, other guy starts mutating, and then more like scientists, SWAT people bust in, and one of the guys is like, we need him for the Nemesis program. And I recognize that because I know at least in the movie there is a Nemesis in one of those movies, in like a sequel or something. One of those scientist people is like, reopen the hive. And Alice wakes up and she is in a hospital umbrella facility and is able to escape. There's just destruction and cars in the streets and no humans to be found as she's walking out of this hospital facility thing, and the world is fucked. End of movie. I gotta say, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen by far, but it's not really good. I can only speak to how the movie actually is. They're cheesy dialogue, a lot of like bad jump scares, like cheap-ass cheesy jump scares. And the dialogue was really, really bad. CG was not great. When they did it practical in certain moments, it was okay. Sometimes the sets looked okay, and sometimes they looked really cheap. Too much exposition, just telling us stuff that you could just show us. It had some fun moments. It wasn't all bad, and it wasn't terribly boring. It was a little bit boring, but it had some action moments that kind of kept me engaged. I can't really say that I recommend this to horror fans. Maybe people that like anything that has like zombie type creatures in it. Me personally, I didn't get a whole lot out of it. It felt a little bit rushed and a little bit juvenile, and knowing that Resident Evil has such a big fan base and people that are like, really really into it, I think they should have put more effort into it. Put a little more money into certain aspects of like the story and the writing and the CG and the acting, basically kind of everything. I don't know. Hope I'm not talking too much shit where this is like somebody's favorite movie, but I don't. I have a feeling not. I have a feeling the people that liked the games probably did not like this movie all that much. But let me know. I'm genuinely curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Like, as Resident Evil fans, do you think they did an okay job, bad job? And I'd be surprised to hear if somebody said they did a great job, but I would be interested to hear that stuff. I hope you guys were able to get some enjoyment out of me talking about it, and hopefully I didn't screw it up too badly for you, and I'll talk to you again on the next review thing. Later, guys. Peace out. Thanks for watching. This is actually a Joe Dirt 2 shirt. Joe Dirt 2 shirt that I got. When I found out they were making a Joe Dirt 2, this shirt was actually in a package with the DVD. I chose it because it's like, rib cage, it's zombie. Look at me, I'm little skeleton Chris. Joe Dirt 2 is not a great movie. The first one's kind of a cult classic. Whatever. Alright. Sure, dog, you do you. Hey, dog, get out of here, dog. It's my dog. Oh, wait, not that dog. It's the other dog. Not the bloody demon dog. That other dog is my dog. That's my dog. To not let them... She didn't want to let him out. So they're in the... Crazy murder. Crazy murder labor harbor. Labor highway? Crazy laser murder harbor. Morber harbor. Crazy murder labor harbor. Crazy murder laser barber. Laser barber. These people. Just cars in the streets, garbage. Cars in the streets. So,